Hello, today is September 11, 2016. If anyone will wonder, yes, these are fake actually. I bought them in Turkey for like 10 euros. It is not important, just by the way. September 11, 2001 is a very special day to me because 6 days before that day I was traveling to the United States. I was 16 years old and I was traveling to California for a work and study program. I was going to stay there for the following 10 months for the whole school year. It was my first big travel trip, first big flight without parents actually. It was a big experience for me. It was a big thing for me, but I wasn't scared. So about that trip, everybody knows what September 11th 2001 was all about. And what's interesting on my story is that 6 days before the attacks took place, I actually flew there with a Swiss pocket knife in my pocket almost all the way through. And I was flying from Prague in Czech Republic to Paris in France, from Paris to Los Angeles to LAX airport, and then from LAX to San Luis Obispo in California. So altogether the travel time was like around 22 hours. And I had a Swiss pocket knife in my pocket, something like this one. See, something like this one, the original red one, because this one is sponsored, which I have at the moment. Something like this one, but also it had the little cutting saw. First of all, why I had it in my pocket? It was a gift which I got from my parents, and I had it with me all the time. You know, just like a little kid. You have some weird habits that you have, and one of my weird habits was that I was traveling everywhere with my Swiss pocket knife. Security check in Prague, that was the first thing. No one noticed, no one cared that the 16-year-old guy is having a full-blown Swiss knife in his pocket. Nobody even blinked an eye on it. In Paris, well, we've been traveling through the airport, so there was like no security check. And when I was at the immigration security check at the LAX airport, they noticed, because you know it's like immigration, so I had my student visa for the whole student year. They noticed there, but they didn't care. Like, it was like, okay, so this guy has a pocket knife, okay, keep it in your pocket, and that's it. You know, nobody gave a shit at that time. And this happened 6 days after. And I remember that moment. I started to attend high school in a small town called Atascadero, which is like near San Luis Obispo, in between Los Angeles and San Francisco. So I was attending school there. I went to school on that morning, and I remember attending the first class on that day, and the TV was turned on in between the chairs. And I've seen like the Twin Towers, and one going down and the second one going down. And I could speak English, but I didn't really understand what was going on. I mean, it seemed to everybody that this is like a scene from some kind of a movie or whatever.
Debris from the explosions rained down onto neighboring streets just as many people were heading to work.
The security and all things, they were so vague that they didn't care. Nobody was thinking that something like this could happen. Small guy like me, young guy, traveling with a Swiss pocket knife in his pocket. 6 days before the attack. What was interesting, that when I was flying back at the end of June 2002, and I was flying from San Luis Obispo to LAX, from LAX to JFK, from JFK to Paris, and from Paris to Prague. I remember the security procedures at the JFK airport. It was total madness. Take off your shoes, take off your belt, stand still, blah blah blah, all these things. It was kind of funny, the 10 months before that, before the attacks happened, nobody gave a shit about pocket knives, about something like this. It was scary. It was scary in some way. And so Just to conclude, I thought that maybe someone will find this interesting. Maybe even now today, when we look at some things, have in mind the best and the worst situation and be prepared for both of them, because this example was really how was the air travel and the air security before. It was a great example of not thinking about the worst possible thing that can happen. Please, everybody, be safe, be positive, but also have in mind before doing something what's the best and the worst that can happen, and don't be surprised. You have to think about it before. And yeah, I see you at the next video, hopefully with some more positive topic, and hopefully with some cars. Bye bye, ciao ciao.